Some of England's poorest children are starting school in nappies, and some are even unable to speak properly.
Absolutely shocking, isn't it? Research by the Centre for Social Justice has found 12% of all 5-year-olds in England cannot write their own name.
Well, to discuss this now, we're joined by columnist Carole Malone and the Mirror's Kevin Maguire. Morning to you both.
Morning.
Morning.
We both deal with kids in nappies. It's not easy. They come out of them at different rates.
Yeah.
So should we be so surprised that some kids are taking a little bit longer?
We should be shocked and horrified that 5-year-olds are in school and teachers are having to change their nappies. Teachers are having to take plastic gloves into school to change children's nappies.
So who's to blame, Carole?
Well, it's the parents are to blame. This is not to do with being poor. This is happening. This is not to do with being disadvantaged. This is to do with being idle. And my parents brought me up without any help, without any help from social services or anybody, but they just knew they had to teach me, to potty train me, and to teach me how to read before I went to school. And I just...
You read before you went to school?
Well, I could write my name. I couldn't read, but I could write my name when I went to school.
Quite unusual, actually.
I don't think it is. And a lot of these kids here are getting to school. They don't recognise their own name. They can't socialise with other children because they don't know how to talk to other children. And because of that, they're actually hurting kids and adults because they have no idea how to behave.
Kevin, this is proper... it feels like proper neglect that's sort of being brushed under the carpet and being accepted, and these poor teachers are having to parent them, let alone teach.
Yeah, it's absolutely heartbreaking, and it's a real disadvantage for the poor kid who's going to lag behind, is not going to be able to learn properly if they're in a nappy. I think this happens very, very rarely, but it does happen. And you've got to ask yourself why, because kids now, most kids go 3 and 4 to nursery. So this must have been going on through nursery, and of course nurseries normally say they want your kid to be potty trained when you go. But some parents are hopeless. Some might have mental problems. There might be other factors, drink, drugs, whatever. But it's a serious issue for that minority of kids, and it's awful. I can't think of it ever happening. And I go back, and when I was a kid, I think of the schools my kids went to. I've been asking other people, all across the country, friends and so on. They can't come up with any examples, but it clearly has happened because people are quoted, heads are quoted.
It happens. There's no point saying it didn't happen in my day. It's there. It's happening.
Well,
wider society needs to step in and help out, don't we?
But I think that's part of the problem. Society keeps stepping in to help out. I think a lot of the people... Yes, it does. I think a lot of the people we're talking about... This country is very good in terms of its support systems. It has prenatal classes, it has postnatal classes.
You don't have to go to them, It's not compulsory. And actually, if a pregnant woman misses all her appointments, where's the catching of that woman in those 9 months where she could prepare better?
But how do you make them? How do you force someone to do that? If you're going to give birth to a child, you ought to want to do that for your child. You ought to want to do the best for your child. And we have all these support systems in place.
We can shout about it, we can wring our hands, we can blame the parents. It's clearly happening. Responsibility of a parent primary. If it's not working, you've got to intervene. Now, it might be health visitors, it might be social workers, go into the house.
So where are they?
Sure Start children's centres were a great thing, a great innovation. And you would go and you would learn things like this if you were a parent who perhaps your parents weren't around anymore to teach you. They're closing. The government's reducing their funding. They'd put it to local authorities which haven't got any cash. They're shutting. We're going in the wrong direction. This is a problem.
Did your
We've got to tackle
to a
it.
Sure Start centre to teach you to potty train? Mine didn't.
But the point is...
Why should they have to? If you have a child, take responsibility for your child.
Carole,
it's not about poverty.
You rant and you bang on about it.
Bang on about what?
If there's a problem, and there is a problem...
Who's banging? You're banging, Kevin, not me.
You've got to tackle it.
Yeah, but how do you...
You can't just say, it didn't happen in my day.
So I'm not just saying... I'm not saying it didn't just happen in my day.
It probably did.
What I'm saying is, this is people who don't know how to take care of children.
But you can't just vilify them, can you, and expect that's the end of the story. You've got to find a way to help them.
So how do you help them? So you say come to this class. Do you think they're going to come to any class to learn how to look after their child? I don't know what the answer is. I actually think this is a class of kids who are lost because they're starting school at the age of 5, 4 years behind. They will never, ever catch up now. And, kids who get homework, they get told what to... Do you think those parents are going to insist those kids do their homework? Do you think they're going to give them the educational tools to learn?
Maybe not, but when you say it's a lost generation, that is very sad indeed.
I think it is very sad. It's
awful.
Heartbreaking.
And if they don't go to the centre, you go to them. But we just can't just ignore it. You've got to do something.
You tell them what they have to do.
Leave it there, Carole. Thank you both. Thank you both of you. 6:57. Time to get the weather.
It is. That's it from me. Here's Laura now.